Alright, so we're going to polish up this piece right here and then add these kind of notchy pieces down here. I'm not sure what to call that. But yeah, I'll just dive right in. I'm going to take all of these edges and dissolve them. X, dissolve edges. Then I'm going to grab this face, extrude it, scale it in, and extrude one more time. And then Control B to bevel. And now why don't we create this piece here. So for that, what I'm going to do is start with just a normal triangle. So I'll take this front face and Shift D to duplicate, scale it down on the Z-axis. And we don't actually see that in our reference image, surprisingly. Yeah, it's just not there. But I like the way it looks, so I'm going to add it. So why don't we first make sure we know where it is. So it's going to be between here, so between this flat part there and this big rounded part here. So it's going to be this whole area. So I'll bring that down, scale it out on the y-axis, and then just extrude it back. Control L, Control N. And actually, I don't like that because we have all these extra vertices in here because this was so complicated. So why don't we delete all those vertices and start with just a normal face like this one. And I want to make sure I get the scale relatively close. We can actually use this notch and this notch as a reference point. It looks like it pretty much lines up with those, so that's actually perfect. SY, SZ. Compared to the notches, it's about twice as tall as one, so that should be a good height. Extrude that back. Control L, Control N. Now I'm going to take the face and duplicate it one more time. SY, scale in, and reposition there. And I'm just going to move this off onto a second monitor. But keep in mind, it's a fairly thin shape that's kind of rounded in the middle. So extrude that forward one time, scale it down, extrude it out again, scale it up, go to there, scale it in, and so I hit Control R and I'm going to scroll up 1, 2, 3 times. And then one more right in the middle. And for this, I think I'll use proportional editing. So I'm going to hit O to enable proportional editing, and then we can try a few different fall-off types. So that one seemed a little wonky. Why don't we try sphere? And that looks decent. Is that the shape we want? And then O to disable proportional editing. We can bevel this edge. And I think it needs to be scaled down like that. Alright, so now I'm going to hit Control L and P to separate selection. And so this is a separate object now, and we can add a array modifier. We want to go in the Y direction. And I guess since we rotated it, the Y direction is now going upward. So why don't we try Z, and that's better. And we don't want it to go by the relative offset because it's considering this object to be from here to here. And so the scale isn't going to be quite right. Well, actually, why don't we do that? I'm going to hit Control-Alt-Shift-C and move the origin to the geometry. And now this is being calculated more reasonably. And now we want to see which way it goes. Oh, whoops. Now the problem with that is we messed up the mirror modifier. So under that, leave the origin where it was. I suppose we could move this up and over, like so. Okay, so now we're mirroring correctly. Disable Y and Z, and grab the whole object and reposition it down here. Alright, so now when we use the array modifier with a relative offset, it should make a little bit more sense. So we can go in the Y direction. Just kidding. Go in the Z direction by negative 1.2. Let's try that. Negative 1.3. And I'm just looking at the reference image trying to determine what looks relatively close. Let's try 2. That's better. And now we can just bring up the count until we reach the end. And I think this needs to be a little bit skinnier, so SY. And if we count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like about 13. I might have miscounted. 1, 2, okay, so count 13. Now we can bump this up to 1.6, 1.7. Oh, it looks like 1.65 is perfect. Alright, so I'm going to cut this video off here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.